An accidental shooting in South Anchorage leaves one man in the hospital and another in police custody. Good evening, I'm Victoria Taylor. 23-year-old Chad Andrew Van Sickle is charged with first-degree assault and misconduct involving weapons. Police responded to the shooting just after midnight in the South Anchorage neighborhood off Woburn Circle. The victim was taken to the hospital where police say he is in serious but stable condition. Officers believe alcohol did play a role in the incident. Police were out in full force last night as 2013 came to a close. The Anchorage Police Department says the number of people arrested for driving under the influence were similar to last year's numbers. APD had 9 officers patrolling city streets for impaired drivers with their first arrest just before midnight. In total, police arrested 9 impaired drivers. On average, officials say they make between 5 and 9 DUI arrests during the weekend and 3 a day throughout the week. State health officials want more Alaskans to get the flu vaccine, which is why they will continue to waive the fee for qualifying individuals in the new year. Normally, the vaccine comes with a $28 administration fee. The health department says the state-supplied flu vaccine will be free for children 3 and younger. Those without insurance or an insurance plan that does not cover vaccines are also eligible. So far, this flu season has brought more than 240 confirmed flu cases. The National Marine Fisheries Service plans to survey fishing businesses for economic impact. The study will look at seafood processors in the U.S. and bait and tackle shops. The federal government will then use the data for impact statements prior to taking any action. The way the survey will work is by having tackle business owners provide details about their clients, cost of operations, and sales revenue. Meanwhile, seafood processors will share their revenue, plant details, and operating cost. The survey is open for public comments through the first week of January. It's great news for those that love clean water. Up to $500,000 is now available for clean water projects through the Alaska Clean Water Actions grants. Looking back at 2013, some of the hotter topics across the state included a groundbreaking survey for the Mat-Su, an Alaskan on American Idol, and the decision to not transfer the F-16s. We'll begin by looking back at a homicide case that shook the state's largest city. Jerry Active, the man indicted on 10 felony counts for the murder of an elderly couple and sexual assault of a toddler at the family's home in Mountain View. According to police, a 911 caller told dispatchers that a man had broken into her residence and killed her grandmother. The suspect fled the residence on foot and was captured by police a block from the scene. Active faces a minimum sentence of 171 years in prison and a maximum sentence of 616 years behind bars. If convicted of the charges, Active would also face a lifetime registration as a sex offender. According to official documents, Active had been released from jail the same day he allegedly committed the murder and assault. Because this was a holiday weekend, Active had a 2-day grace period before he would have registered with his probation officer. Jail or thin ice? For one man, the answer to that question ended in the middle of Cheney Lake, where police say 19-year-old Siaosi Sila allegedly ran to escape from an officer who was trying to serve him an arrest warrant. The warrant was for failure to comply with his probation conditions. Sila was on probation for a burglary 2 Class C felony. The foot chase began on Baxter Road shortly after 2 p.m. and ended when Sila ran out onto the ice and refused to comply with officers. More than 20 officers responded, as well as fire crews. Police say they were prepared for a water rescue due to how unstable the ice was. Eventually, Sila did surrender to police. For the first time in the history of the Mat-Su Borough, a study of how many adult women are falling victim to domestic violence was completed. Studies in the past have long proven domestic violence is what some refer to as an epidemic in the last frontier. And now Mat-Su Borough officials say these numbers are not shocking, they're simply too high.
Or even ourselves.
Over the past 3 years, the Mat-Su Borough...
We find that over half of adult women have experienced violence in their lives. We know that the true number is actually much higher than that.
Some are calling the results conservative because only adult women meeting certain criteria were allowed to participate, which could have impacted the final results. Women in hospitals and shelters were excluded, as well as inmates and women who did not speak English. Prior to this research, the borough was using data from 15 years ago, and it wasn't specific to borough residents. According to Dr. Rose, the only criticism received so far has come from the decision to not include men. The Alaska congressional delegation, along with the Air Force, scrapped the plan to move a fighter jet squadron from Fairbanks to Anchorage. U.S. Senators Mark Begich and Lisa Murkowski, along with Representative Don Young, announced the decision after they were informed by Air Force leaders. The Air Force proposed moving the F-16 Aggressor Squadron from Eielson Air Force Base to Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson. They said the move would save $200 million. But about 1,200 military members and families would have had to relocate to Anchorage. The Color Run is the single largest paint race event series in the world, and it made a debut in Anchorage on June 15th of this year. There are no winners, no official times are kept. The run simply celebrates healthiness, happiness, and individuality, bringing the community together via a 5K run. Runners start out wearing white t-shirts and are doused with different colors at each of the kilometer checkpoints, making for an incredible, colorful canvas of people and town at the race's end. The Color Run has exploded since its debut last year, with more than 1 million likes on Facebook and over 4 million YouTube views. The Color Run will return again in 2014. Every year, thousands of singers brave the judges of American Idol in hopes of stardom. But this year, Alaska had its very own hopeful in the top 40, Adriana Latonio, who was born and raised right here in Anchorage. The 16-year-old hopeful did not make it to the top 10, but she proudly represented Alaska in the top 20. ACWA grant.